Hello.
Oh, hi.
I didn't do the 3, 2, 1 today.
Oh,
I usually cut it
okay.
out, so it's okay. I don't have to.
Cool. They're that cool at editing now.
Yeah, I hope you're as loud as me today. I was having some
Can
trouble. Yeah?
can you edit me to make my voice sound better?
No. No, that's
Damn it.
still haven't figured that one out, unfortunately.
You need to look up the tutorial on the internet. This has really been the best I could come up with. Fuck.
Yeah, you sound a little tired. Well, I think we're both a little out of it today if that's the case.
Yeah, I was looking forward to having some coffee, but I saw that someone took fucking all of it, so instead I just got some Cocoa Pebbles,
Whee!
which that helped.
Well, yeah, I fucking got up and I was like, I don't know if my voice sounds different as well. It very much might, because now I've had a cat for like 9 days, and now it fucks with me every morning.
Worth it though.
Yeah, and I just got up not too long ago, so I fucking woke up, took my Zyrtec, did a shot of the inhaler, did fucking this nose spray shit, and then I cleaned her fucking kitty litter out of the shower, which is where I've been keeping it as my mom's request, and then I took a shower, and now I'm here, and I still feel kind of shitty.
I think it's just that morning then, because I tried getting up and fuck.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, if I didn't have like alarms going every like 10 minutes, then I would have overslept.
you didn't get up early for me, did you? Did you?
Yeah,
Shit.
I've been
Well, now I
quote
feel
unquote
bad.
early because apparently 11:30 is not that early.
Yeah,
I need to
but
fix my sleep schedule.
I wasn't ready because once I did all that and came out here, my computer wasn't recognizing the mixer that I record through, and so I restarted it, and then I uninstalled and reinstalled the driver, and it still wasn't working, and so then I just fucking moved the USB to a different jack on the computer, and it fucking worked. So that's great. That was probably the problem the whole time. And I wasted like 15 minutes.
Fucking audio hardware kind of sucks sometimes.
Yeah, I had no idea what was going on. It's just, I guess some of those, whatever you call them, I just called it a jack, like the USB holes on the computer. Some of them like register half the time. So that can be the problem sometimes.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah. But anyway, we
That aside, I mean, yeah, you know I'm slow as fuck to wake up, so there's no issue.
yes, of course. So, you know what? We should just say it here. Last week we didn't have enough time to talk about our very weird requests, and I'm going to be sad about that forever because because we didn't say anything very new about Eraserhead, and I was so ready to get all weird with it. But
We could have like a follow up. What the fuck? There's a word for that.
one day,
Specifically a word for that. What?
there is. I don't know. I can't think of it.
An addendum or something.
Ah, I see. Yeah, one day when you if you ever eventually rewatch Eraserhead, then we can be like Eraserhead Revisited, where we actually go a little deeper on it. But I just wanted to say right here in the next podcast, I'm a little disappointed because we went like we went like a bathtub or like a shower level of depth, probably.
Really quick
so I was
tangent.
sad.
Your internet like got all laggy right
Yeah.
when you were talking,
Mm-hmm.
and when you said Eraserhead, it made you sound pretty robot-y, so it sounded like Yoda said it.
Eraserhead.
Eraserhead.
So you would really be
Um,
saying head eraser.
Head eraser.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah?
I think that's one of the highlights, honestly. The last podcast with the Rex.
Oh,
I
really?
think it was just lined up. Yeah.
No, that's what I wanted it to be. But if you recall, I was short on time last time, and like,
yeah, we might be short on time this time.
well,
too.
I was gonna say like, yeah, we might be, but I'm less worried about it today because these wrecks shouldn't take us as long to talk about. I think yours will take longer today.
Yeah.
But also we've got like 2.5 hours. My appointment's at 3. It's noon.
Oh.
So like
Yeah.
we should be. I just wanted to make sure that we had 2.5 hours, and then like I had a half hour like just in case. So yeah, we're gonna be good we're gonna be good today. But it would be cool to it would be cool to revisit Eraserhead if you ever re-see it, because I feel like if you don't re-see it, it would probably be a pretty similar conversation.
I mean, yeah, and
Yeah.
and really quick, I did go back and like listen to what Diener was talking about, and I agree with you.
What? That's like the best track on the album?
Yeah, it's like at least one of the best tracks on it.
Yeah, it's my favorite one, and I've been popping Ocean Man this week. So, I like Ween, and if this shit ever ends, we got to go see him live.
I don't know if they're still touring.
They do tour. I looked into them.
Hell yeah.
They're not right now, but they actually were touring this year, and they pushed it back till next year. So, if we could ever catch a Ween show, that's something we gotta do. Because I bet they're
I
a
want
lot
to see
of fun.
them live.
Yeah.
Because they sound pretty different live, but like pretty close to what the sound is on the albums. If you
They sound
looked at
different.
yeah, they sound different, but not in like a bad way.
No, it's
'cause-
it's much more like performative. It's really cool.
Yeah, Gene doesn't always do that ooh sound.
Yeah, and I saw because of course I was curious. I saw like Spinal Meningitis live, and like for the chorus of that, I mean the verses they just like play that baby sound over it, so it's pretty much the same there. But for the choruses, like it sounds so much better. They have like distorted guitar, just like holding out chords. It sounds so nice.
Yeah, and also sometimes they play in different keys. Like for some reason, Ocean Man's in a different key.
Ocean Man, yeah.
Their Seattle live show,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yeah.
also I've just been learning Ocean Man on bass.
Hell yeah. I'm sure. I think I figured it out once, just like playing chords, because I think it's really easy, unless I'm wrong.
Oh yeah, the key is easy.
Yeah, I think it's just like C, G, C, F or something. Like I don't remember. But that's either way, that's like the progression. But anyway, people didn't come to hear us talk about that, I guess. I hope I'm gonna get you more into David Lynch down the line, whether or not we talk about Eraserhead more. But I wanted to try and wreck some other stuff because I don't want every like third episode of this podcast to be a wreck from like the same director or the same band or whatever. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and be a bit more creative. So I didn't wreck a movie today, which is a bit of a spoiler because for you, so you can start wondering. But
Fuck.
that's just because I didn't want to keep recommending movies since you recommended me a game and you recommended me an album, and that was like 2 movies in a row. So there are movies I want to wreck. Yeah, there are movies I want to wreck you. There's actually too many, and that's why I've got to think outside the box and give you some other ones.
But now I have a confession.
What's that?
My ass forgot to think of a wreck. So I'll have to come up with one while we're talking.
So you're gonna have to do what I did last week. Well, hopefully you have a safety wreck like I did, because my safety wreck was what we're about to discuss, actually. So if you want to transition into that and keep,
There you go. That's what my plan was.
yeah, and keep that window open in the back of your mind for the wreck today, then we can
I don't
do
think my
that.
brain is capable of doing that many things. But
You'll pop
yeah, we
something out.
can. Yeah, we'll talk about your safety recommendation. Big
Which-
Lebowski.
Yeah, yep, that's it. And just because it's a safety recommendation does not mean that it is not a great thing to talk about, or at least a great thing to have experienced, in my opinion. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I don't think in any way anybody was gonna say just because it's a safety thing means it's like bad or in any way.
Oh
I
no.
think it's a safety wreck because it's easy to talk about and like great to unpack. Definitely an experience, I would say.
It is an experience.
It was a much nicer change of pace for me than Eraserhead.
I figured, and I recommended this because you recommended Blues Brothers. This is the movie I was talking about when I was like, this movie like kind of reminds me of another movie, and I was being all like vague. I was talking about this one, and I was like, you recommended Blues Brothers. You like bowling. It just makes sense to recommend you this because I think the comedy is, to a degree, similar.
I would agree. Yeah, I don't know where the fuck I was going. I was going to a few places. Yeah, I wanted to see this movie for like a while because it's always kind of been like just kind of like tossed out every so often, like enough for me to be like, yeah, I should look into that at some point. So I was anticipating watching it.
It is a big meme movie. Everyone makes references to it.
Oh yeah, then I noticed some of like the old like reaction pics of like fuck, I forgot his Walter like pulling out the gun.
Yeah, or the dude just like, that's just like your opinion, man.
That's just like your opinion, man. Am I the only one that cares about rules here? It's really quotable, and also like,
dude, half my notes are quotes.
It has a much bigger, in a sense, like bigger cast than I expected.
Really? What do you mean?
Oh, like just who's in this movie.
Oh,
like the guy that plays Don. I forgot his name because I'm an asshole.
Donnie. Who is that? Steve Buscemi.
Yes, Steve Buscemi. And also, I wasn't expecting Sam Elliott to show up, but we'll get into that.
Yeah,
later.
he was the narrator. And who else was in this? Philip Seymour Hoffman, and he was great. That dude had some fucking range. I now know, now that I've seen him in more than one thing.
Yeah, and also the guy that plays Walter, his voice sounded a lot really familiar, and I couldn't put my finger on. I can't put my finger on it.
And did you figure it out?
Oh yeah, it's Sully.
Sully from what?
From Monsters Inc.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
So I noticed that like right after, like when he pulled out the piece, and at that point the movie got really enjoyable for me because I just pictured Sully after like the events of Monster Inc. like going through a midlife crisis. He went through Vietnam.
Oh my god, that's one of the funniest fucking recurring things in the movie. But I guess we should move into a more organized discussion. Now we've gotten some general thoughts out. So you enjoyed the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty thoroughly.
Okay.
And just gonna put a disclaimer, like, I pretty much just for this movie in terms of viewing it, it's pretty much a requirement for me to have been drinking during it.
Okay. So
it made it pretty fucking funny.
But you remember it?
Oh yeah, of course.
And you probably didn't take notes, huh?
No, I don't take notes.
Okay.
I'm that kind of student.
All right.
But I've got lots to talk about.
Okay, good. So do you want me to let you start or should I start? I'm going to let you talk, but I'm going to give just a quick synopsis here that this whole movie is about a rug because the people went because those dudes went to the wrong house and then the dude is just so easygoing that it ends up being this entire adventure. That's what I wrote down.
The dude is the main character.
Yeah.
Whose name happens to be Lebowski, which is the same name of a millionaire philanthropist or whatever. It's not clear what he does, but he's just a rich old fucking geezer asshole. That's all you need to know. And people rob his place thinking that he's a millionaire. And it's not, but they end up stealing his rug.
And they
end up pissing on it and then stealing it, which is an interesting set of choices.
And it's believed that they have his daughter.
The millionaire's daughter.
It's believed that they took the millionaire's daughter. So our dude, our Lebowski, gets wrapped into this whole situation, just trying to make some money off the millionaire.
And that's pretty much it.
That's the synopsis. Yeah.
There's some bowling in there. There's just they just keep going back there. It's like the dude's like only thing he does in life because he's unemployed.
Right. All I'm saying is, sometimes there's a man. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't remember that. It was at the beginning of the movie.
No, yeah, I do. I was waiting for the rest of it.
Oh, okay.
So the beginning of the movie just opens it on him, like in his boxer shorts and like a really gross bathrobe, and I kind of like said this in my head, or not in my head. I said it out loud, but like I remembered it because like I remember always seeing what the dude like just looked like and just like screenshots and shit.
Oh yeah, he's everywhere.
Like in like high school, and like at the time I was like, this is what I'm gonna look like in like after high school, like 10 years or something.
Right.
And it turns out I look like him now.
That's hilarious.
Because I don't know if you remember, but like a month ago I said like I bought a bathrobe.
Right.
And now my hair is the longest it's ever been, so all I need to do is just shave the beard a particular way and put sunglasses on.
Oh my god, yeah, just like Blues Brothers.
And I do bowling, so there you go.
There you go. I hope you're still bowling. Well, I guess you can't be, but I hope after this.
Pretty much every alleys are closed. But this movie did make me miss bowling quite a bit.
Good. It's like the bowling is like weirdly just a set piece, like a kind of a choice. You'd think like it's a bowling movie, but it's mostly just like the place where they all regroup and like discuss stuff, and then there's a few bowling gags. But
like
it makes it so much better.
Also, I can hear myself. I don't know if you want to fix that.
Have you been able to the whole time?
No, just now.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
I think it's good now. It's just at that moment. All right, that was weird.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna like bowl in tournaments and stuff to try to earn the money back, but I realized that would be pretty boring in terms of what this movie's already been doing.
Yeah, I should have,
because I thought, oh, this is Blues Brothers, and he's gonna try to get the money back, and I'm like, wait a second.
I should have disclaimed that's not really a bowling movie, but it's like that's the set piece, which is a great one.
My expectations were happily subverted.
Okay, good.
I went in thinking it was a bowling movie, and that assumption itself is what made it funny for me.
Okay, good. There was some good stuff in there about bowling.
Because he was just like, my fucking rug, man.
I know. Yeah, someone pissed on my rug. It really held the room together.
It really held the room together. It just, every time, like, the higher up he goes into, like, or the further he goes into the plot about the kidnapped daughter. I thought it was his wife, though. But, like, yeah, the kidnapped daughter. And then he's just talking like these playboys and just like, yeah, could you get my carpet back or some shit? He just always brings it up.
I know. That's what's so great. This movie's about a rug. So
instead of the mission from God, it's just he's on a mission to get his rug that ties the room together.
Exactly. Yeah, so the movie starts. Yeah, these people fucking break into his house and put his head in the toilet, and then I love how after he's like interrogated by them, like this is like the Blues Brothers-y aspect to me, is that whenever like something serious I guess happens, like he's so fucking casual about it, because afterwards he just like sits on the toilet with his sunglasses and like calmly negotiates with them.
Oh yeah, he takes the sunglasses out of the toilet, and just puts them on.
Yeah, and he's just like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. That's my rug. Oh, don't piss on the rug, man.
He's like, do I fucking look like a millionaire?
Oh my god. And then yeah, and then it's straight to the bowling alley, which my note there was that all these people bowl like you.
That's I've been trying to tell you this whole time. That's how you bowl, like in League. You curve it.
Oh my god. I guess.
But this is like the '90s, so not everyone was getting super big looks. But I didn't have any issues with how the form was, like any leaves or how the or any pin leaves. So I think it was all pretty accurate in terms of bowling. So that's bonus points for me.
Good. Yeah, great. I don't know if I cared about that, but if
I mean, I just knew it was consistent, and just if you paid, it's just one of those details where like if you pay attention to it and there's like detail put in, it's just like cool.
Right. Extra bonus.
It kind of ties it ties the movie together
like a rug. Ties
like
the
a
room
rug.
Together. So since
also later, I like how they make fun of the people who wear the wrist guards.
Oh yeah, you do that.
No, I don't.
You don't? You had a thing you put on your wrist.
No, it was on my arm. It was the compression sleeve. The guy had I don't think you've seen them, but I see them quite a bit in League. It's like a wrist guard that keeps your hand straight.
Mm-hmm.
They look goofy as fuck. It's what Jesus was wearing.
Jesus.
Like the yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. The purple suit.
The plastic thing that's around his wrist.
Yeah.
And I said before I even saw it on my fuck, I hate people who wear those. Unless like they're old and like have wrist problems. Otherwise I'm just like, you look fucking goofy. And that's exactly how he was being portrayed, so it was that was also more bonus points. Right,
and apparently there's a sequel to this movie about him, and apparently it's not good. So
as soon as he said there's a sequel, I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna check that out.
Like just like Blues Brothers, there's a sequel that's not liked.
That's not good.
But since you brought up the League bowling, I thought you may have something to say about that scene where Walter loses his shit on the guy.
Dude, that was hilarious.
for fouling.
As a League bowler.
Yeah, he kept saying like, this is a League bowling game.
This is League, damn it!
It's so funny. He takes out his gun.
He takes out his gun and points it at the dude, not the dude, but the guy that fouled. It just kept yelling at the market zero, just being such a stickler on the rules, and the dude was just like, "Hey man, chill. It's okay. It's just a game." And he's like, "League."
And I love how and after that they get back in the car, and he's like, "You gotta calm down, man." And he's just like, "I'm pretty calm. I'm
calmer than you are.
Calmer than you."
It's just big old sassy.
Oh my god, Walter is fucking hilarious. And he was like, as soon as he's introduced, he's hilarious because he immediately like gets uppity when he's talking to the dude about his rug, and then he's like, calms down. He's like, "This is about unchecked aggression." That's so fucking great.
Walter's easily my favorite character in this movie.
I figured Walter and the dude are both like extremely likable, which helps the movie a lot.
Yeah, just every time Walter was on screen, I just had a smile on my face. And I was fucking ready.
And then there's Donnie, and we've all had a Donnie.
Yeah, actually, fuck, my voice just cracked. God damn, that was bad. Right when the scenes start and he just screams over the line like at the top of his lungs, I was laughing.
Oh yeah, no. When he screams, I think I don't know where the fuck it is. Somewhere in here, I took a note about him screaming. But he's such a fucking goofy character, just all around. Like, there's the point where he brings his that Pomeranian dog to the alley, and he's like,
yeah.
and he's just like totally chill in that scene. And then that's the same scene where he gets pissed off about the guy who's fucking, who fouled.
Yeah.
And
Ugh.
I love during that conversation that we were just talking about. He's like, am I wrong? Am I wrong? You're not wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole. I feel like there's a friend that I won't name that we've had conversations like that with. So that's
I know
fucking.
you're talking about.
So that's fucking funny to me. That's what that made me think of.
Yeah. No, Walter's hilarious.
Mhm.
And Donnie too. Just every time Donnie talks, Walter's just like, "Shut the fuck up, Donnie."
The fuck up, Donnie. And I was like, we've all had a Donnie before, or we've been a Donnie. Hey, my cat's fucking staring at the computer. She does this all the time. Good thing I got a laser, because I can get her to go wherever I want with a laser.
Pretty much that's how it works.
If she'll notice it. Sorry. Yeah,
Where were we?
I was saying we've all had a Donnie before. If not, we were a Donnie. But
That's got me thinking now.
I particularly liked the scene where Donnie kept talking about the In-N-Out.
Oh yeah.
Because Walter said, "Shut the fuck up, Donnie," and I was like, "Yeah, this is California. It's just someone who won't shut up about In-N-Out. It's like, shut the fuck up, Donnie."
Well, they were in the theater like at that point, so
Yeah.
Walter was getting like about to yell, but he couldn't, so it's just like, "Shut the fuck up, Donnie."
Right.
Or I think he actually yells like, "Shut the fuck up, Donnie."
Mm-hmm. That's like all he ever says to him.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then, we're already jumping all over the place, so I won't go to there yet, because that's the end of the movie. But
yeah, it's one of those movies where we're just kind of jumping all over, just being like, "This is funny," and then we're just kind of zapping all the way around.
Like I said, I didn't know how to take notes on this one. That's why I was like also hesitant to recommend it, because I'm like, it's a great movie. I don't know how to talk about it, but
If it weren't clear, you just gotta watch this movie as opposed to listen to us talk about it.
oh yeah, this isn't. I guess that's typically going to be the case with like a comedy. I feel like Blues Brothers worked though a little better. I don't know.
I was thinking the same thing with Blues Brothers, because like we could talk about and joke all day, but you gotta experience it.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those. But that won't stop us from recommending them, because movies like this are ones that we should definitely be sharing with each other if we have them. So, yeah. I wrote that I could see you in that purple suit that Jesus wears.
Ugh, maybe when I'm like 40.
What about the ball cleaners? The
Oh yeah, the socks.
Yeah, do you have one of those?
I had one of those before I had my bowling bag.
Right, I couldn't remember if I've ever seen you use one.
I think I had one for like a spare ball that I was just kind of lugging around. But you should have seen that me bring it in like a couple times, and when they were cleaning it, just the way they were, I was just cracking up.
Right.
It's pretty much what you do though, and how you look like when you use one of those.
Exactly. So that made me laugh. Then I wrote, imagine dreaming of being tiny and stuck in a ball return, because that's exactly what he did.
Oh yeah, he has these fucking fever dreams every time he gets knocked out, and they're just so enjoyable.
They're just bowling related.
I noted the golden bowling shoes, and I noted that I want those.
Oh, I didn't even notice. Did he have them in his dream?
Yeah, it was in the dream. Like they were brought to him or something. I was like, I want those gold bowling shoes.
I bet you could find some gold bowling shoes.
I think they're probably expensive.
Yeah, well, probably. Even if they're just like supposed to be a prop for the movie or something, they're probably expensive because of that.
Yeah, and I mean some bowling shoes can get a little stupidly expensive, but I digress.
Oh, and then they go on the mission. The first time they go on the mission, I thought it was so funny because the whole like he said to only bring one person, and then
Walter immediately shows
yeah,
up.
Walter immediately shows up. He's got a bag of his underwear instead of the money, and then
Yeah, he brings a ringer in.
and then when they call the when they get the call from the dudes that they're meeting up with, they're like, I love how the dude just fucks it up. He's like, where do you want us to go? Us? Shit.
He's like, shit.
And then there's a callback to it later when he's talking to the rich Lebowski, and he's like, we dropped off the money. We? Hi, the royal we. With the royal we.
Yeah, in the first scene where they're gonna drop off the money, the guy's on the phone, fucking Walter's just yelling at him, calling him an amateur.
Yeah, and then he's like, when he gets pissed at him, he's like, "You're being very undude."
You're being very undude.
Yeah, Walter fucks everything up. The car crashes. The fucking gun. The gun goes off.
Walter is too.
I know. The gun goes off, and then the guys they're meeting up with drive away, and then Walter fucking the dude's car is just like the biggest victim in this whole movie. Because he fucking
it's another similarity to Blues Brothers.
Yeah, he just crashes it and everything, and then after Walter fucks everything up, he's just like, fuck it, dude, let's go bowling. And then they do. Like it just
and then it just cuts to them in the bowling alley. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like
I was like, that
the
sounds
scene
like
transitions are so abrupt, they're funny.
And I was like, that sounds like us in 2018. Just like whatever the fuck we were doing, it's like, fuck it, let's go bowling.
They were just there.
Oh, and I wrote when Walter screams when he's talking about like that Jewish holiday. He's like, "Shomer Shabbos" or whatever. I was like, he reminded me of Alex Jones. Like
he's like a more likable Alex Jones.
Oh yeah, just his scream is hilarious. And then when they leave the bowling alley, then the dude's car is stolen, and he's just like, "Oh fuck it," and he starts walking home. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to look up the holiday I was talking about.
I wrote it. I wrote it down. It was Shomer Shabbos. I don't know what it is, but
I'm just gonna call it Shumashanis.
Shumashamish.
Like Unasanis.
Oh, have you been watching that?
Oh hell yeah.
Nice, me too. But I guess we won't talk about that right now. What else? Did you have anything you wanted to say? I guess you did.
I was just gonna say it's I guess since we're already there, it's hilarious that he's such a stickler about that Jewish holiday.
I know. No, that's like the best part
like
about
so
his character.
About it.
Yeah, he's so proper about some things, and then he's so fucking off the wall about everything else.
He's like a chaotic good, I guess.
He's a chaotic
Because when he
something.
finds out that League is like scheduled on there, he's like, "On Shubba Shamas, I don't drive, I don't do this, and I certainly don't fucking bowl."
Yeah, and I love how also on that day he answers the phone, and then he's like, "I'm not supposed to answer the phone. This is an emergency." Yeah, I know. That's why I answered the phone.
The only reason why I answered this phone, and even when he's in the car and like the dude like uncovered like the whole kind of twist or like the high point in the plot, he's just like, okay, but how is this an emergency?
Oh my god, yeah, he's just fucking hilarious. 1 second.
I could only drive unless it's life or death. This is that.
God damn it! I need to Sorry, after this one, I need to keep my cat in my room while we do these because she is so fucking interested in the computer of all things. And my mixer, she walks all the fuck over it. Okay, sorry, keep talking.
Well, I mean, she's a pretty young cat, so that's
Yeah,
at least from what it looks at. So
she is.
They're like that.
I'm gonna need to keep her in my room so she doesn't fuck up the mixer or the anything over there while we're recording. What were you saying?
Yeah, we didn't point out that his car got stolen when it had the briefcase full of money in it.
Oh no, I said that because then he was just like, oh fuck it, and he walked home. But that's when you were looking up that Jewish holiday. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I guess I must have missed that. But yeah, then they and then he finds the car back. Of course, the briefcase isn't in there.
But
and then they find like school homework. So then him and Walter like pull a sting, I guess, on like some kids' homework.
Oh yeah.
They show up.
That was fucking hilarious. And then Walter goes out and he's like, the kid doesn't fucking say anything. So he's like, you ever heard of Vietnam, Larry?
You ever heard of Nam? The dude's just like, why does that always have to do with Nam, man?
And then he just goes outside and fucking destroys this guy's car. And it turns out that it's the neighbor's car. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, because it looks like the kid bought the car with that money. But yeah, and then the neighbor goes, yeah, and the whole time Walter's screaming, this is what you get for fucking a stranger in the ass!
It's so fucking funny.
And then the neighbor shows up, and then, of course, goes crazy. It takes the I don't know what the fuck it is. I think it's, the shit that you bolt the tires down to. I know cars, they smart.
Yeah, I don't
then
either.
He starts beating the shit out of the dude's car with it.
Yep. Yep, the dude's car.
His car
takes another beating.
Oh yeah, Donnie's just there just because because he thought they were going to go get in and out.
Oh yeah.
But then right after that scene where all his windows and windshield are broken, they're just seen driving with in and out.
There's so much good shit.
That's really where I noticed like how great the scene transition is, where it just cuts to this, and it's just, can you imagine just like what it was like during that whole process, like getting there and everything?
To be there that night, yeah. I love how every time they fuck up in their mission, she's like, she kidnapped herself.
Yeah, Walter kept saying that because you just kind of put it out there, just like, she probably just kidnapped herself. And
every time
she's like, hey, she kidnapped herself, remember, like you said.
Yeah, every time they fucked it up, she kidnapped herself. Then I'm just looking at my fucking notes. I have so many fucking quotes here. You want a tow? I can get you a tow. These guys are amateurs. He's so like obsessed with calling these guys amateurs.
He's just obsessed with one-upping them, so it's even more like that friend we won't name.
Oh yeah, when he went to the house, I think Maud was her name, and there was that weird like bald guy who wouldn't stop laughing. He's, like, they just ignore him at first, and he's like, "What the fuck is with this guy? Who is he?"
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is with this guy?
Oh man, yeah. Now I'm going completely all over the place, but like, there's so much shit that's worth mentioning. Like, well, the way the dude, like, he squeals when he drops his cigarette in his car, or like in the bathtub scene where they put a fucking marmot in his bathtub.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like, like the way he yells is so funny. Shit. I'm gonna try to oh yeah, there was a pretty
Germans are after him too for some reason, because they all have it mixed up.
Right.
So another parallel to Blues Brothers.
And then the visual.
Back to the.
Sorry.
I was gonna say back to the diner. When Walter's just getting like super loud, and she's like, "Sir, can you please lower your voice? I'm gonna have to ask you to leave." And he's just like, "No, I'm enjoying my coffee."
I'm staying.
I'm
Yeah,
staying.
fucking,
I'm enjoy my coffee.
fucking the dude leaves. I'm staying. Enjoy my coffee. There's a
So I guess there he reminds me of Alex Jones there too.
right. There's a funny visual gag where he sets up the the chair on his door, and then like it's a pole door, and the chair just like falls through, and he's like,
It's like, oh, whatever.
I thought that was pretty great. Yeah, just like his reaction to everything makes it so good. There was that weird gutter balls fever dream porno thing.
Oh yeah.
That was something. I guess I don't really know what the implication of that is, because it's like directed by, and then like it's that porn director guy.
Yeah, it was just like because he was unconscious again, so it was just like another fever dream.
Yeah, it was just like a little thing where he was a bowling ball. And he was going down the aisle looking up all the ladies' skirts, and then
Oh yeah. He was floating down.
yeah,
it's hilarious because sometimes he's just flying, but like the really like shitty editing, like where he's just like kind of it's like he's green screened on there, just like standing pretty much.
Yeah,
just rotating and spinning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that. That's hilarious.
I guess we're getting towards the end. I wrote
making our way there somehow.
When he gets arrested and he gives the cop his Ralph's card, he's like, "Is this your only form of ID?" He's like, "I know my rights, man." And then the cop just goes on this whole like thing of like, "I don't like you, Lebowski. I don't like your name. I don't like what you're doing here. I don't like any of it. Am I clear?" And he's like, "I'm sorry, I wasn't listening." He just like throws the cup in his head. He's like, "Ah, fucking fascist!" So good. That was a fucking hilarious scene. I just started writing down the funny shit that was happening. Apparently,
it's like, this is funny.
the cab driver kicks him out because he asked to change the music because he was sick of the Eagles. And then the cab driver just
like the Eagles, man. Yeah, everyone just reacts like way too like super amplified,
mm-hmm.
And the dude just like completely lacks that.
Ah, see, I didn't even pick up on that. That's kind of why the movie works so well, huh?
I guess I just pieced that together now.
Yeah, because
that's how it does the comedy.
Everyone is extremely over the top, and he's just, "Come on, man. I just want my rug."
Yeah, a little extra credit assignment. There's a lot of comedy is based around that,
mm-hmm.
where it's like just these eccentric, over the top like stuff going on, and then there's the straight man.
Yeah, that's why there's all those dynamic duos. That's the idea.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
goof and the straight.
Like and Abbott and Costello.
Mm-hmm.
So doing that is pretty much like, I guess, the go-to, I guess, in terms of writing for comedy.
Good comedy, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because it works.
A lot of effective comedy, yeah. This movie pulls it off to a T.
It's like how people go back to like the hero's journey from Story, write the same chord progressions, or base it around that. And all that stuff.
It just works.
It's like one of those things. Yeah.
If you do it and you do it right, it just works. That's a JonTron quote. So he gets home, and Maud is at his house and wants to have the sex, I guess. I love she's like "Jeffrey, love me," and he just looks up, he's like, "That's my robe."
That's my robe. Yeah, at this point I was pretty fucked up. And then when she was there and she said that, I was just like, okay, I guess we're here. Just accepted it.
I wrote this one down just because it was completely us in 2018. Because someone, she was like, "What do you do for like recreational, for fun?" And he's like, "The usual bowl and drive around. I was like, that's us in 2018. That's all we fucking did.
There's also eat too.
Oh yeah, eat. But bowling and drive around was like pretty much it. Oh, and Game Shed. We did that. There's after they have sex and she's doing that fucking yoga shit. She's like, it increases the chances of conception. And the dude's just like increases. Oh shit. I thought it was funny that Walter was right and it wasn't Bunny's toe.
Yeah, that she kidnapped herself.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's another thing about this movie is like in a really satisfying and funny way, all of it pretty much meant nothing, which is in more seriously toned things, that's always like for a lot of people a letdown. When it's like revealed, it was really nothing the whole time. Like like one of the games we played on our channel that you changed your mind about later. Because I guess I want to say spoilers for the ender of game because people didn't
insert game.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. The third game we played on the channel.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. You don't got to be more clear than that.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it works really well in comedy when that's used.
In comedy, when it's just like nothing mattered, and it like. And everything was, your expectations were just completely subverted. You don't feel empty. It's just like, lol.
Just like, yeah, of course. I mean, I was here for the journey, not the destination.
Mm-hmm. You wanted your wife gone and thought, here's a loser. I could put it on him. Well, aren't you? Well, yeah. That was good. I told you like half of these are just quotes. What were you about to say?
I was gonna say, in comedy, it either like if the ending means nothing, or at least it's for a very like small cause, like in Blues Brothers.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Like again, they went through all that, became huge wanted fugitives, and had like the whole world against them just to keep this old rundown church from closing down.
Right, and then I won't spoil Blues Brothers because we did that in the last one. But the ending of that would be probably unsatisfying if it was like a more seriously toned movie. But it's like
if it was like a crime drama with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, but it's perfect for the ending of that movie. It's like yes. And during the scene that I just quoted, then Walter pulls the fucking guy out of his wheelchair. He's like, I know a guy who can walk when I see him or whatever.
Oh yeah, he's like, this guy can walk really quick. I just had this vision of like a crime comedy
mm-hmm.
With Keanu Reeves and JonTron as like
JonTron
Blues Brother type, like where they're both in suits.
I thought you were gonna say John Travolta for some reason.
No, JonTron. And then, like, Keanu's just, like, kind of, like, going around, and John's just like, what the hell are we doing here? Some shit. I don't know. I probably didn't get enough sleep last night.
I mean, that's pretty funny.
Fuck. That he lifts him out of the fucking wheelchair, and he just flops over because he can't walk.
Yeah, and then we're pretty much at the end, because Bunny's returned home by then. They finally killed his car. And then what did I write here? Oh yeah. Oh, then they killed his car.
We skipped something.
Oh yeah.
We skipped. It was when the dude was going from one limousine to the other. And like the guy pushes him into he's got his like arm behind him, and he's like getting him into the other car, and he's just like, hey, now relax, there's a drink.
Oh yeah,
it's a drink in my hand.
There's a beverage.
It's a beverage.
I just love like there's so many scenes in this where he just like puts on his sunglasses too. I think when he's like in the cops office. Or I could be wrong, but I think he just like puts his sunglasses on there too. And that reminded me of Blues Brothers. That could be like an homage to Blues Brothers, just how they always had sunglasses on. But
it was
maybe not.
Definitely
But...
Walter, like only ever had sunglasses on.
Oh yeah, and he only took his sunglasses off at one point near the end. So that's also at the very least it's a parallel, if not an homage. But I feel like the Coen brothers, who did this movie, probably are fans of the Blues Brothers movie. So
I wouldn't be surprised.
What'd I say? They get in the fight in the parking lot, and then the car is completely destroyed, and he's like, they finally killed my car. And then Donnie has a heart attack, which is kind of out of left field, I guess. But everything in this movie is.
Oh, because the Germans show up, and then they get into this huge fight, and Walter fucking bites off one of their ears.
Yeah, that too. There's just some crazy shit that happens.
It makes sense. Like, Donnie's just kind of, not very outgoing.
Right, and he just kind of stays back, and then you're like, oh, what's going on with Donnie? And then at the end of the scene, it's like, oh, he had a heart attack and died from it. So then they go, and they can't pay for anything to put his ashes in, and end up getting a Folgers coffee can.
Yeah, out of Ralph's.
Yeah, and then they fucking... Walter delivers his fucking obituary, and he won't. He just keeps fucking talking about Vietnam, and then it's so funny. Blows his ashes, and then it goes everywhere except to the ocean.
Yeah, because the wind's blowing the opposite way, so it just gets all over the dude.
Yeah,
and his sunglasses.
And then he like turns around to hug him, and he's like, what's that shit about Vietnam? What the shit does anything have to do with Vietnam?
He's just like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
They just hug, and they're like, hey, fuck it, man. They go bowling. And that's like, that's pretty much it. Yeah, and then we see, or we hear Sam Elliott talking again. But, yeah, I guess we didn't mention in the middle of the movie, the dude meets Sam Elliott. Who I guess he might be like the movie's obviously, at least as far as I can tell, not overly deep, but if anything, that could be like a god kind of character who just does the narration and like meets up with Lebowski at the one point in the middle, and he's like, everything's good, huh? Just don't use so many swear words.
It's like, the fuck do you mean? Right after that, I didn't really catch whatever he said at the end because I was just transfixed in his mustache.
Oh yeah,
just convinced that Samuel doesn't have a mouth; it's just all mustache that's smiling.
Right.
And that was it.
Yeah.
So that's my takeaway at the end.
That was that's pretty much the movie. There's not much of a resolution, in a good way. I mean, Donnie dies, and then no one really learns from it.
It's funny that Walter like delivers the obituary when all he's ever says to Donnie is "shut the fuck up."
Yeah, and then his obituary is just like completely bullshit. It's just like, I imagine you would have wanted to be shot, thrown your ashes into the Pacific Ocean, and something about Vietnam.
You never had to deal with Vietnam, but
oh yeah,
some shit like that.
Oh my god. And yeah, because usually like in most movies, a death is like a point where somebody learns and comes out of it differently or whatever. But this movie is just like, fuck it, and they go bowling. You still there?
I was just seeing how long we can hold that silence for.
In that ad that we just made at the beginning of the podcast, I should be like, come by for great moments like this, and then just got to like that. Just silence.
Just
yeah, I was seeing how long I could be silent.
See, nothing too unlike the game shed.
That I guess, unless you had any closing thoughts, pretty messy discussion, but I'm glad that I got you to see it.
To be honest, it's I wouldn't say it's a messy movie.
It's fun.
It still flows through. It kind of feels like it because like the scene transitions, but it's not a bad thing. It's just like what the fuck is going on right after the next. It's just kind of out there.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's like the amount of like kind of jokes per minute this thing throws at you is kind of jarring, and how like well it pulls it off.
Right. I actually think, because it had been so long since I'd seen it until a couple weeks ago, and then I rewatched it to take notes. This is up there for like my favorite comedies, I think.
I think this has to be up there because I don't have anything negative to say about this.
Right. I guess
there's also so much funny stuff that's happening that isn't being said, like just on screen or like, just situations or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I'm glad I got you to finally see it after all these years.
Yeah, I had to have seen it. I had to see it at some point, and I knew I was gonna enjoy it already going in.
All right. So sorry for that messy discussion, but I don't really care because I'm glad I introduced you to the movie. Let's get into final thoughts and rating, I guess. I guess you go first, right? That's how we've been doing it. Yeah, you rate my movie first.
Every time I hear myself, I get a little distracted. Shit.
Oh, did you hear yourself right there?
Yeah, I'm good now. I was trying to think of a closing thought, but I don't really have anything else to say. So fuck it, let's just go bowling.
Fuck it, let's go bowling.
Fuck it.
That's a good final thought. Fuck quarantine.
This movie just gets a solid 9 out of 10 for me. It'll probably make its way to a 10, like once I see it a bit more.
Oh yeah.
But for now, it's going to be at a comfortable 9.
It's an instant classic. I mean, it is a classic, but even if for a new viewer, it's like, yeah, that's going to be a classic for me too.
Never mind. I wish there were more bowling.
Huh? You wish there were more bowling?
Actually, there's some dude converts to 7-10 split, so that was pretty nutty.
Oh yeah,
in the movie. I remember that.
I don't.
Also, it was really quick. It was hilarious how the Jesus dude was talking shit, and all of his shots were high flush.
What does that mean?
That means the ball went high, and it went flush. That means it's not really that good. It's kind of that he got lucky.
Ah, there you go. A bowling term, everybody. At least it's during the talk about the bowling movie.
Yeah, see, there you're welcome. Use bowling terminology.
So I said that my only criticism is sometimes scenes feel like they drag just a bit, but I'm also not really sure if there's anything I'd cut. So, I guess since I'm also relatively new to it, I feel like it's so hard to give a movie that you've just seen a 10, because I guess we both feel like we need to sit and think on it. Or experience.
So I guess we're on the same page there.
Yeah, or experience it more, or this or that. But I'm gonna say the same thing. It could very well end up being a 10. I give it a 9.
Cool. It's funny that you think that scene's drag, because I didn't feel that whatsoever. Maybe because I just seen Eraserhead, so comparatively, the pacing is a lot easier to digest.
I think it might just. I don't even know if that's the way I put it. It might just be there's so many things that happen in the movie that like.
See, that's what I was kind of talking about. Like, I think it transitions the scenes on like an offbeat.
Right, and once you maybe it's a sorry.
I was gonna say, but like in a good way, in an offbeat.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a problem with having seen it, where I know like what's coming, but there's so much stuff that I forgot that happens. So it was like, oh, this is longer than I remember. More stuff happens than I remember. But like I also noted, I don't think I'd cut any of it, because like there's no scene that doesn't make you laugh or smile or like that there's just no takeaway from. There's always something funny or some good entertaining shit happening.
Yeah, this movie doesn't waste a single minute.
No, and I'd agree.
If it's playing, it just tosses stuff at you left and right.
I would agree, even though that's the note I took. I don't know. Like I said, it could definitely end up being a 10.
Yeah, we're in that weird spot of just like, is it a 10? Should I order the should I order a side of fries? I don't know.
Right. So let's do the next rec then. I guess
Do the do.
we talked about that for quite a bit, and it's probably awful to listen to, but hopefully we can have a more organized discussion here about what your recommendation was.
It is really cool though to have another comedy movie that I fully enjoy, because I don't like a whole lot of comedies.
Right, and that's why it might happen again where there's I'm just saying, I know no one listens to this, but I'm just saying it will probably happen again, because there's another one or two comedies that I think are actually genuinely great and worth your time, but I'll recommend them down the line. And we'll probably have like a similar discussion where it's like hard to talk about a movie like this and make it productive or entertaining. But I don't care, because I'm showing you good movies.
And that's what this is all about, really.
Yeah, this is more about sharing shit and then being passionate about it more than it
just
is
having
about
some fucking. There's just so many neat shit, that's around that we just gotta talk about.
Yeah,
there you go. Smack that in the trailer.
That's what this shit's about. It's not as much about an audience as it is about us, and I think that's true for all podcasts. If I'm being honest, I think
that's true since our channel even too.
Oh, that was always true with the Game Shed too. It was like, we want to do this. We have it logged for ourselves. At least that was always what it was for me. Kind of a weird intermission here we're having, but
yeah, I mean, yeah.
I just felt like talking about that for a second.
We're talking about the paradigm of the channel. For me, it was just, oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, I just don't like having to worry about my being entertaining when we're doing the podcast. That's why we started the podcast. We were like, because you specifically were like, you wouldn't have the energy to do Game Shed episodes sometimes, but it would be like, I want to record
I'll still
something.
have energy to talk.
Yeah, I want to record something. Let's do a podcast.
Yeah, but for the Game Shed, it was just, shit that was fun.
Yeah. But you definitely
like, I want to have a gaming channel. Oh, I want to be internet famous. It's like, fuck off with all that. It's like that, LA bullshit.
Right, but you get
it always transitions me to, shitting on the people in LA.
Yeah.
It's true though.
You
like,
get in the mood of I've got to be entertaining when we were doing Game Shed, and sometimes that was great. Sometimes it wasn't great, and sometimes it just wore us out.
Oh yeah, I'll still be entertaining because that's the point of it. But I wasn't doing it just for my own clout to just share to everyone and be like, hey guys, look, I have a YouTube channel. I'm so cool.
Yeah, actually, I recently, like, there's a friend who was like, I told him we talked about Elliott Smith, and she's a fan, and then I was like, yeah, actually, I don't know if I'd recommend it, because like I don't even feel like recommending our podcast or our video game Let's Play channel to the people I know. Like, this is just for anyone who stumbles on it, and for us. Like, that's the truth of it. It's like,
what, you recommend the podcast or the album?
The podcast.
Yeah, fuck it. Just toss it out there.
Yeah, that's what I do. I was like,
yeah, you can warn her about it.
I was like, yeah, you could listen to us talk about Figure 8, but you probably don't need to. that was for me more than anyone else.
Or either or.
Yeah, or either or. Her favorite's Figure 8, though. All right.
Good choice.
Well,
Good choice. Anywho,
we had a little intermission there. I'm okay with it. We talked about. We've only been going an hour and 4 minutes, so we're kind of on schedule.
yeah, you can just smack some of that shit into that trailer too.
I could.
So
So
we're talking about the paradigm of all this anyway.
yeah,
Speaking of the paradigm of everything, what remains of Edith Finch?
a video game.
Yeah, a game that I recommended, and I wish I had a little bit more to kind of tell you from the last podcast, because I was just like, yeah, this game. You're like, cool, all right, see you.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, bye. Because I really needed to go. Like, my therapist had, like, called and messaged me and been like, oh, you remember our appointment at 1, right? And it was like 1:04, and I was like, yeah, I do. Bye. Okay, I'm playing this game. Yeah, but I wrote some notes on it, and I played it, and I also
Oh, now I know a wreck. All right.
I also 100%ed it.
Yeah, you're welcome for the easy plat.
I figured
You're not fucking special, kid. No, I'm kidding.
I wrote it somewhere, but I'll just say it now. Oh, no, that was my first note. I 100%ed it, and I see why you played it. Because you were looking for an easy 100.
I actually wasn't, mister.
Oh, really?
If I was looking for easy 100s, I'd just get some graphic novels off of Steam. Or some more of them.
I figured you were looking for easy 100s, and this game came up, and you were like, ah, sure. 2 hours, narrative, easy 100. Let's do it.
Well, I figured you would actually enjoy it because this game is strictly a story, and you're all about that. And I came across it because one of the like reviewers that I've been watching recommended it.
On YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube.
Well,
and
shout him out.
you don't need a shout out from us.
Yeah, but I want to know who you're talking about.
Joseph Anderson.
Hey! I think I saw his video after I played it. So, there you go.
Cool. But yeah, just I enjoyed his stuff quite a bit, and then he's just talked about this kind of a little more obscure game. Even though I watched this video and it kind of spoils everything, I still wanted to like experience myself to see what he was talking about.
Oh, you went into this game spoiled.
Mostly.
Interesting. All right.
Honestly, spoilers can get me into stuff.
That can be true.
I was spoiled into a few series that actually got me into it, made me really enjoy it.
I'd say the same, but I generally I still try to avoid them.
Yeah, I mean, also the game is only 2 hours, not a huge time commitment. And there was he did talk quite a bit about the different stories, but I want to see how it kind of like presented itself and like showed itself off as like a whole package, I guess.
And presentation is definitely the thing you want to talk about when it comes to this game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I thought you'd get a kick out of it after playing it.
Oh yeah,
you enjoy the story and narrative-based stuff, and I think that's what I'm going to go for in terms of games that I recommend. Instead of just kind of just play this for a while, see what the fuck happens, like Skyrim.
Right. Yeah, I didn't know it was only going to be 2 hours when you recommended it, but
well, that's what I was going to say. Before you left,
right?
That it's not a huge time commitment, so you'll be fine.
Right.
It's surprisingly expensive when it's not on sale, though.
I'm happy I paid for it. Well, actually, I didn't pay for it. I just realized it was at some point it was one of those 2 free games from PlayStation apparently, because I already had it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I went to buy it and it was like download, and I was like, "Oh, cool."
I think I grabbed it on Steam during the sale. It was like $5 or something.
But yeah, I would pay,
which makes it really worth it.
I would pay $20 for it. I would support it because I want more games by these developers.
Yeah, I'd support it too. I would say I think $15 would be more worth it, because like
I could see that.
$20 is how much is Until Dawn is, and that has more replay value than this, I think.
Right, I could get behind that.
I would just as easily share it though.
Oh yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah,
Let's talk
so
about that.
the game is, to roughly synopsis size. That's probably not a word. Roughly give a synopsis. The game is about like a withered family tree, and we're the only ones left. Edith,
Mhm.
out of that whole family, and she's just trying to like piece together what happened in everyone's story amongst her family tree.
Oh yeah,
And
we know that there's a curse that there's a curse and
curse.
it kills every generation. There's like multiple children, and it kills all but one of them who lives on to have another child who. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Except there's one exception.
It's pretty much what.
The grandmother, because she's the only one who lives to be that old.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's curious about it. So it's roughly kind of like, it's a narrative mystery, I guess. It's like kind of taking you on this path, and yeah, there's a family curse that's been perpetuated by Edie. It's not to be confused with Edith.
Yeah, the grandmother.
Which is the great grandmother. Is it the great grandmother or just grandmother? I don't know.
I think just grandmother.
Yeah, because the mother, I forgot her name. Who's like the most normal one is Edith's mother. Yeah.
I probably wrote it down.
I think it's just like a family curse.
Yes.
It's like anyone who has the Finch name dies.
Yeah,
in like a mysterious and tragic way.
Yeah, and one kid lives on to have a family, but yeah, and there's a lot of themes about death, like, which is surprisingly, the game is really like, because of its presentation, the game is really uplifting to play, I'd say, even though it's like completely surrounded in themes of death and dying. And
it's super artsy fartsy, like the way it uses like subtitles really creatively, and
I like
that points is like part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a lot of stuff to discover too.
Right.
So I knew you would enjoy that because you love to just explore and be super thorough.
Mm-hmm.
So you can end up finding a whole bunch of stuff to just get Edith's opinion on it, pretty much. And Edith is just like me, where she doesn't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right.
She's just like Donnie, where she just doesn't shut the fuck up.
In a good way. I liked her observations.
It's crucial to the story almost, because we need her perception of like how things are unfolding for the story to be digestible.
Right. Well,
and to like kind of take away anything. But I guess that's it. I'll let kind of you talk about your experience and walk us through.
All right. So as you go, you understand, like, you start to realize that the family is just like kind of too scared to have a normal life because of the curse, which ends up leading to a lot of their deaths, I would say, in short. So it's like
basically like this whole almost self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, the theme is almost like the only thing to fear is fear itself, which given this game's presentation, though the message is simple and contrived at this point, it's extremely well done and it's very powerful. That's how I felt.
Cool. But okay, I think the unique thing is how it tells the stories of like the different family members.
Oh yeah, I was gonna get to there.
Yeah, where you play different segments of them, and it's just, I think, some of the best storytelling that's in games.
It's
from this really small title.
You never get stuff that's this creative, and we'll get into that in a second. I wanted to say, I'm looking at the notes that I took before the game turned into that. See, at first I thought this game was going for a little something different. Because I noted that every Finch that ever lived is like, quote, is buried somewhere in the library. So I was like, oh, the memories become stories, which essentially become life after death. Like when people read your stories and you live on or something. I thought it was going to go.
Yeah, like being immortalized.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go somewhere with that. Like, I thought it was. I think it turned out to. I don't know. At least
Well, it kind of does, I think.
Yeah, that I thought that was gonna be it. Like that was it was as simple as that, but it isn't. I don't think.
Oh, in terms of like the message, I guess, moral.
Yeah, there's more to it. Like, which is that other thing that I just said, which is like, don't be scared to live. Like, because all these people were too scared to live and ended up kind of. Yeah, self-fulfilling prophecy. They all died at young ages.
I think the only one that was scared to live was the fuck, I forgot his name, but we'll get to him. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
But,
I do. If we want to start,
like,
sorry.
I was gonna say the grandmother, like, pretty much does immortalize all the family members. She locks off all of their rooms instead of reusing them or refurbishing them.
No,
Um,
so the mom.
Oh no, the mother did.
Yeah, the mom
The mother
locked off
did.
the rooms, and the grandma put in the peepholes.
Yeah, she put in the peepholes like something
And
weirdo.
yeah, and the mom blocked off the rooms because she wanted Edith never to see
Go in there.
to see them because then she would be afflicted by the curse. She would start to have the same kind of deal where she's so scared of the curse and so aware of it that it becomes a self-fulfilling thing.
Pretty much. That's what the takeaway is. Yeah.
And then the grandmother
the mother's trying to protect her.
Yeah, and then the grandmother disagrees and thinks that the history of the curse and the family is important and Edith needs to know, so she puts in the peepholes.
Yeah, and then like that kind of narrative like kind of evolves until pretty much to the end, where you have to like question like, well, what's important? Like how important is like family history if it's just gonna keep repeating itself or just become a fulfilling prophecy and all that.
Right.
But like, how important is it to know your roots and everything and yada yada? And I think it's also kind of a take at tradition.
No, I'd agree.
And I definitely just don't like tradition in any way, so I'm on the mother side.
There's tradition. If tradition makes no sense, you gotta get rid of that shit. If tradition is like, yeah, duh, then that's a different thing, I think. But
I think,
like,
well, if it's almost
this kind of
based, sure.
Yeah, this kind of like harmful tradition, is obviously harmful. Yeah, that's what it's. I'd agree with your take on that.
I think tradition, like broadly, is just kind of preventing just people from like
progression.
Yeah, exactly. It's preventing that, in my view. Specifically, family tradition. Like, I think, that's just like it's like the the old geezers that are like, oh, blah blah blah, take pride in the family name, and just this family is a bunch of like engineers and doctors and blah blah blah. You can't be a musician or just whatever. It's just like, yeah, fuck your way.
Right.
Just that kind of stuff, I guess, to put it really kind of loosely, but digressing a little bit.
My more straight into the point notes are the game is beautiful looking. There's great attention to detail, and the atmosphere and music are top notch. Presentation is creative and unique. I had noted, this was before I realized that like that was going to be the whole point. So I noted everything, pretty much. The comic book section, and they had the fucking Michael Myers, the Halloween song.
Yeah, that was a little bit cheesy, but that's kind of the point.
Yeah, but I thought it was fun. I wonder how they got to use that song in the game. But there was stereoscopic viewer. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and it wasn't used in a horror game, so that's pretty cool to actually see one of those.
Right. There was just a stereoscopic viewer jump scare in something that I watched recently, I think. I thought it was something that we talked about on here, but now
It was something that we talked about.
Oh, it was. Yeah, it was your fucking piece of shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I was like, what was that?
That's gonna be the thing I forgot that we talked about, recommended, that I even fucking saw.
Forever. When we get to the end of the podcast for realsies and we rank all of our fucking when we go through everything that we ever wrecked, at that point, the forest, nothing's gonna dethrone it from the worst.
Yeah. Unless I just get real fucking masochistic. But anywho, did you have more you wanted to say? Or?
Yeah, the stereoscopic viewer, the picture taking section. These are all ways that the game presented a past life of someone in the Finch family, by the way. That flip book was really fucking cool. About from the missing Finch. Morton? I can't think of his name. Unless that was it. I can't remember his name right now. The Lewis section was Milton, yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
No, that was it.
Cool.
Milton Finch. I think the Lewis section was probably the coolest. I don't know if it was my favorite, like the one that I enjoyed the most, but it was definitely the coolest presentation that we got.
The Lewis section for me was definitely my favorite.
That was the last one, yeah.
I think it's kind of the more relatable for us normal folk that gotta kind of put our dreams on the shelf.
Right?
Can we some real stupid shit?
Can we realize how depressing that is? Like,
yeah, it really is. It's really depressing. And
then
again, people just need to play this for themselves, honestly. To
I do
experience that.
I do want to talk about each section, which is why I'm trying to get this stuff out of the way at the top, but I'm doing a bad job. After you beat the game, there's the replay a story feature, which makes it completionist friendly. And just like anyone who doesn't want to sit through the whole 2 hours to re-experience a part, I really like that feature was there.
Pretty good.
So I wrote, it's about appreciating life for what it is and not taking anybody or anything for granted. But I don't, I think there's some of that in there. I think it's not a one-trick pony. I think there's a lot of themes to it.
Yeah, there's some nuance in this too.
Yeah, I also thought early on that it's about the power of storytelling, imagination, and creative freedom. But, from a presentation level, it absolutely is, I'd say.
I think in terms of presentation, this game gets a 10 for being like,
it's
as linear as it is, but it's just in raw presentation, it's the best I've seen in any storytelling media.
I'd agree. It's the most creative storytelling I've seen in a game. Not even just storytelling.
I will say, just really quick, I wasn't huge on the music. I thought it was too Life is Strange like, and that kind of detracted from me.
I love the music in Life is Strange. I think it's one of the only redeeming qualities at this point.
Well, the pause music just really reminded me of that, and then like I just kind of like got noticed some like similarities in like art style, and I was like, God damn it! I just want to escape that game.
I don't know. That's funny because we're not talking about Life is Strange, but if we were, I'd say the music and the art style are like the two things that it has going for it.
It's really weird because I think it's a vacuum. It only works there. Everything else that reminds me of it, I'm just like, ugh. I think it works fine in the game. You
got a little quieter. I don't know if you moved away from the mic.
The mic is right up here, so.
Okay, now you're loud.
Okay, cool.
I also wrote, the end made me tear up, but we're gonna discuss each part.
So
most I'm just going over like the technicalities here. Most voice acting is believable. I said Walter was eh. That's the guy who you were talking about earlier, by the way. He was the only
guy
one.
Talks about Vietnam.
I guess the guy who was in a bunker like his whole life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I just I just put together what you were doing.
That's funny.
The guy who talks about Vietnam. If that guy voice acted,
Talks about Vietnam.
if that guy John Goodman, I think, if he voice acted Walter in this game, that would be hilarious.
Then it would just be silly.
I wrote, I wish you could look through all the people's, like even from inside the rooms back out. Like, for some reason, for me, artistically, that would have been, that's a missed opportunity. Because, like, I think it would be cool to, since you're essentially becoming each character as you go, it would be cool to be able to look back out into the house. Just because of the like the potential significance of that, if you know what I mean.
I guess I don't think there's no reason to not have it.
Yeah, that too.
I didn't really want that though. Like I wasn't like, oh, I wish I could do this. It just never crossed my mind.
That's fair.
But
I
I'm not
tried
as like thorough, I guess, in like the playthrough for that.
I tried to do it, and then when I noticed you couldn't, I was just a little like, I feel like that would have added a little extra something for me, but
what's really cool is that is the peoples themselves, where you can like look into them.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go to the first room, which is Molly's room, there are like a set of secret doors, which by the way are fucking cool. Such a hard on for secret doors and rooms and shit.
Oh yeah.
I really like my dream house involves having a secret room.
Okay.
Like behind a bookshelf.
Yeah, so let's actually get into all of that, because all I have left is like the little criticisms I have, which I can just mention before we give the rating. So
yeah, there you go.
So there you go, Molly. Molly, I think, is where you realize that this game isn't your average game, which is a great thing to know at that point, because it is kind of run-of-the-mill walking simulator up until you turn into a cat.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, we're kind of jumping ahead because I wanted to say, I think, like one of the best things in the game is when you go through the secret set of rooms and tunnels and everything to get into Molly's room. Edith mentions that it felt like she stepped through a painting.
Yeah.
So like that was really, I thought that was a really like kind of artistic way of like putting that or whatever.
Yeah, which is exactly that contributed to my my take that it's about creativity and storytelling and stuff. Which I still think there's a lot of that in there. I just don't think it was the central theme. But at first I did. I thought it was going to be a game about creativity.
Yeah, so Molly's story is probably one of the more important ones because it really kind of gives you a lot of information like about the family, I think.
It sets off the curse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if you want to approach it from a storytelling standpoint, there's stuff to learn there. If you want to approach it from presentation, I guess I want to do both. So I guess we could start.
Oh yeah, we're doing both, but I was just gonna say, like, just really quick, it's one of the longest stories, I think. It's either hers or Lewis's is the longest, I feel like. Yeah. So Molly, she's only 10 too.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets sent.
She's the first one to die. She sparks this curse.
The curse. Yeah, and she gets sent to was she the first one to die? I think no, it was Odin, because the one who founded everything and built the house.
He didn't die young.
He didn't die young, but I don't think it's just how you die, not dying young.
All right.
It's from what I got, because there's like some more adults and everything that go too, like Walter also.
I guess you're right. They die in weird ways. I mean, yeah, Odin or was that
I guess it's more like the curse to me is like you're doomed. I guess.
right. I don't know. I feel like she set the curse off because his name was Odin, right? Did I just forget it, or was that it?
Yeah, it's Odin.
Okay, so he died in a weird way, but that like one time is just like a mistake. 2 times starts to become a pattern, or at least could be seen as one in the eyes of Edie, who was the mother of Molly.
Yeah. But then you look after like the second one, you've established it. You look back to the first one, which is Odin, and just like, was that normal or no? I guess it's like, where do you draw that line of when stuff happened?
Yeah, I don't know. He died in a pretty weird way, but it was pretty weird circumstances. So
I need to stop fidgeting with shit. I need to keep breaking things.
So did we both watch the same video about the grandmother?
No, I only watched one video on this.
Okay. So, but it sounds like we both like had kind of the same idea about her.
Yeah, I think we're both on the same page then. But I guess we could like quickly like toss that in with Molly, because she gets sent to bed without any supper, which is like, I guess a trope. That's what happened like way back then.
Mm-hmm.
Which I hope people don't do now, because that's just fucking abuse.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's just keeps talking about how hungry she is. She thinks about eating her goldfish. Looks for Halloween candy, but it's empty. So she ends up eating like dry gerbil food, just like a dry carrot next to some poop.
And and a bottle of, or not, a tube of toothpaste. And some poison berries from Christmas time. Yeah, because it was what is it? Like mistletoe or whatever. Those berries that she ate. So, as it turns out, her death not that mysterious.
Yeah, but the way it like it's mysterious, and like, you know, you wonder like how much stuff really happened.
Yeah,
I guess, but it's clear that she pretty much went to like a fever dream from, you know, eating all that toothpaste and died in her sleep.
Yeah, or it's unclear. It's unclear exactly. It could have been that she died in her sleep. I think that actually, does have to be it. Now that I think about it, I was just about to say she could have seen the bird out her window and fell out the window, but she wrote her journal entry. So I think it is true that she woke up in the middle of the night and wrote the entry, and then died.
It's also not clear if she went missing or not or anything, but it's not really said. But it has to be that she died in her sleep. True.
So yeah, and Edie was obviously her mother and didn't feed her that night. So that's probably what happened. And we see all that happen. But then we see the effects of putting all that shit in her body, which is not like obviously what happened in reality, but it makes for very cool presentation.
Oh yeah, so like when it first progresses, so like she approaches the window, she notices that she sees a bird out there,
Mm-hmm.
and the window's chained up, but there's like gaps just large enough for her to get through. And when you're first playing through, you just think, oh, it's run of the mill. She's just gonna go after the bird and kind of fall out of the house. But then she transforms into a fucking cat and just leaps out after the bird and chases after it in the trees.
Which was very fun to play as.
Oh yeah, like I can imagine like when that first happens, you're just like, whoa.
Oh yeah, I was like, I turned into a cat, and I was like, you what?
You what?
And then like,
come again?
I was like, what? And then we became, so we chased the bird, and then we.
But really quick, there's this important line that she said when she passes her parents' room. She said that they didn't even look at her.
Yeah, well, I think that is only significant to the fact that she definitely didn't turn into a cat.
Well, I think that line was said because like
To say she was neglected.
how accidental was her death really?
Right.
And that's like a question that you keep thinking about, like some of the other family members.
Right. She was definitely neglected, so it plays into that as well.
But yeah, she chases after the bird and ends up eating it, and then transforms into an owl.
Mm-hmm.
And flying around too was I don't know how this dip made it any different than like other times when like you're flying, but this one felt pretty. Like it actually felt like you were flying.
Mm-hmm.
At least I did.
And I didn't take any notes on that. I didn't feel like it wasn't designed well or anything.
Gotcha. And then
I enjoyed that. And then and you catch rabbits, and that's the first time where the game is like unexpectedly kind of like gruesome because you fucking
swallow them whole in like a really disturbing perspective.
Yeah, you swallow the fucking rabbits, and then I think you turn into a monster after that.
No, you turn into a shark after that.
Oh yeah, the best part because you just turn into a fucking shark and you ragdoll down a hill.
I thought that was so derpy.
over a road and into the sea. I think it was supposed to be derpy. I don't know. I think the game didn't take itself overly seriously, to its credit. So.
Yeah, for that, yeah. But then you eat the seal, then you turn into a monster.
Yeah, which the seal was also fucking a bit graphic. It was like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, because you bite off its flipper first and it's bleeding.
Yeah, and then it just swims around bleeding, and then then you turn into a monster and you're on a ship and you kill 3 people and you're just like this tentacle monster. And
or like a giant squid type thing. It's unclear. You're just a tentacle and you're just kind of leapfrogging around the ship, just eating more people.
Right. And then you
and you better thought of the lighthouse during that scene.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, tentacle, lighthouse, it's pretty much
ship, pirate. We're a tentacle monster, but it's pretty clear that we were just Willem Dafoe.
Oh yeah, we were whatever manifested of Willem Dafoe. Yeah, so tentacle monster, kill some people, climb up the toilet, and
oh yeah, and then you climb up the toilet into a house because the monster, or like Molly notes as the monster that she smells something even more delicious far away from the ship, and then once you climb out of the toilet, you kind of get this feeling like you know where this is going, and then you enter Molly's room, and then you get that oh shit moment, and then you hide in the classic monster under the bed.
Yep, and that's the note that she took, and so in reality, she ate a bunch of shit that you are not supposed to eat, and probably died in her sleep and managed to get that note written beforehand. But this game turned it into that whole fucking thing, which which is pretty amazing.
Or a Willem Dafoe tentacle monster creeped under her bed and then ate her.
Yeah,
after damning her.
Just as much credence could be given to that. I didn't write down the order or anything, so there might be some that I forget. I think the next one was the swinging.
Yeah.
It
was a swing. What's his name? Hold up. God damn it, my mouse really just doesn't want to work sometimes. There we go. Calvin. Okay. And he was with the swing.
He was the one who he was into rocket ships and going to space.
And he wanted to fly.
And
it's the story's told by his brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's like when you think about like how the story's being told, it's kind of sad because the brother says, "I always like to think that he made up his mind that day, as if it was like deliberate."
Mm-hmm. Right, because he had a broken leg, I think, and an arm.
I think it was just his leg. I didn't see the
I
arm.
don't remember, but yeah, it's pretty sad how it's written from the brother's perspective, and it's not blunt either. It's about he says and he decided to fly. So what really happened is the kid is on the swing, which is built next to
directly in front of a cliff.
Yeah, directly off a cliff. And he's swinging and swinging, trying to do the thing that every kid tried to do. Swing high enough
Except
to like
me, I never wanted to do that shit.
Yeah, that'd be scary as shit. But wanted to swing high enough to to like do a loop around the top of the swing set, which in this case was that tree branch. And so as the player, you're just having the story read to you as you swing up and down, back and forth, and eventually you swing around the tree a few times and you fly.
And you get fucking catapulted off.
Yeah, so likely that's all that really happened is he was catapulted off, and there's a fucking cliff. So
Yeah, and at points of that story, I had to kind of look away from the screen because I was getting motion sick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I was just immersed into this because I just talked about flying and then getting motion sick just from the screen.
I didn't have that problem, but I did not realize, at least on a controller, to move the legs you have to move both the sticks up and down. So at first I was just moving the right or the left one like you would usually have to move around, and I was like, why do I just keep swinging to the left? Like, what is going on? And I eventually figured it out. Yeah, so it took me a minute. I don't know what it's like. Maybe on the computer it's like on your mouse you have to press both.
That's just W
or something.
No, it's just W.
Oh, all right. Well, then that's cool.
So,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, different.
So
that's it. Still gets you thinking like how accidental is this death?
Right.
It's just kind of like stuff that it places there. Get the player thinking about this stuff without like outright mentioning it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. This game doesn't like not hold your hand, but like it doesn't treat you like you're a baby in this game. It like respects the player and thinks like, yeah, they can piece it together or like digest everything.
Yeah,
pick up on some stuff early on.
It shows you it gives you a lot of stuff to go over,
Yeah.
And there, like I said earlier, there's great attention to detail, which I wish I wrote more examples of. I'm sad with the notes that I took on it because they were less from a story perspective and more from presentation and technicality.
Right.
Like as a video game. And then I watched some videos on the story after. Not like I understood the story, but I wanted to I don't know, I always get something out of hearing someone else just like sum it up and maybe give a little insight after I play a game or watch a movie or whatever.
Right.
So I don't know if we need to talk about every one of these or because I don't even remember them all. I know there are a couple more standouts.
Yeah,
unless
like
if you
talk about the standout ones.
If you wanted to talk about any other ones that I don't mention, then you'll just have to say that because the next one that sticks out for me is the baby in the tub.
Gus. No, Gregory.
Gregory?
It's Gregory. Yeah.
Yeah. Gus, I don't think stood out as much to me.
Yeah, that was the wedding. Well, it stands out for a gameplay because it turns the subtitles into part of the story, which is pretty cool.
Since we aren't going to really talk about that one, Gus died flying his kite in a storm when he was flipping off his dad
At his wedding.
Yeah, it was kind of not that one could have been avoided too. All these could have been avoided. Yeah, but let's talk about Gregory.
That's the thing.
Yeah, let's talk about Gregory, who is what, 1 or 2 years old, just a baby in a bathtub, and this was one of my favorite ones to play. I noted that the frog ribbited, and it came out of my controller.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. So your baby in a bathtub playing with a toy frog and a bunch of other
Just
toys.
really quick, you gotta save this for the people in the back. Don't leave the baby alone in the bathtub.
Which is what the mother immediately does.
Yes.
And the mother is not a Finch. It's the father who's the Finch in this case.
Right, and he calls the mother, and so she's on the phone.
You got quiet again.
The whole time. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
I think I peaked my mic when I talked directly into it.
Okay. You said the mother. What were you saying about the mother?
Oh, I said the father calls the mother, so she's on the phone most of the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
So of course the father does blame himself, but it's like, who's at fault here?
Yeah. So she leaves the baby Gregory in the tub, and then we get like a really tastefully, creatively done baby death.
And, yeah, it's equally dark and fantastical.
Right. It's because we play as the frog toy that the baby has, and we hop around. We can knock all the letters off the tub that spell Gregory, and we can
For an achievement.
And we can jump over all the other toys sitting around in the tub, and we have to knock a whale toy into the tub, and then hop off of that. And
that turns the water back on.
Yeah, because when the mother left, she turned the tub off. So I guess she was halfway there. Just take the fucking baby out,
or watch it,
or watch it. But
it's not like those phone cords are that fucking short.
Right. So as it's depicted, we see the frog hop off of the whale toy and turn back on the water. And then we see a still fantastical but a bit more disturbing scene of the baby having mutated hands and swimming towards
I took it as the baby turned into a frog.
Yeah. Yeah, and then swam down the drain.
Yeah, and it's swimming toward there. So it's pretty much depicted as the baby's imagination. It's even how the father's describing it of what world did Gregory see?
Mm-hmm. It's pretty uncomfortable, but it's pretty fantastical too, like you said.
It's something about how uncomfortable it is what makes it stand out so much too.
Yeah, I think that's a standout of the game for sure.
Yeah, and I have to agree.
And it probably is because of the subject matter of it being the death of a baby. Once again, being neglected by a parent. So. Yeah.
And it also just shows from Molly pretty much how it tells its story.
Right.
It has these these different storytelling ways of getting the point across. If it were done any other way, it would just be too boring or too dark for it to work.
Right, and this game always finds the perfect line, and it tells a really dark story in a really I don't know, in a very accessible way. In a very tasteful way.
Yeah.
So I guess that's Gregory. There was.
I was gonna say something I forgot.
All right.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say this is why this works as a game as opposed to a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
you're playing as these characters and you get to like experience like the transformation of what they assume to be feeling.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's like you're kind of like experiencing them dying.
Right. Exactly. Today, to do this effectively or tastefully, at least in a movie, the only way you could show it is to like have like the mom leave and then like zoom into something else and then it's implied that the baby drowned, or go like a David Lynch sex scene type of sequence. Yeah, like type of sequence.
But even
where,
still,
where it just gets it gets totally artsy and it's like, I think I get it. Baby dead.
Yeah. But even if David Lynch did this, there'd be, baby heads, all over the fucking place. And it would just be too up for interpretation, I guess.
Right. I mean, the way Eraserhead ended and with our interpretations, I think that's a pretty tasteful way to do a scene where somebody dies. Spoiler,
if you
want
to make it horror.
Yeah, well,
I
guess technically not spoiler, because who the fuck knows if we interpreted that right, so it doesn't matter. But yeah. I guess that's it. That's it for Gregory, I guess. I'm trying to think what other ones stood out. There was obviously Walter, who was the one who locked himself in the basement. But before,
I want to talk about Walter.
Before that one, we don't really need to go in depth on it. I already kind of mentioned it. But because the coolest thing about it was its presentation, and that was, I can't remember her name, but the comic book presentation. Barbara. Yeah, so she was like this child star, and she lost her fame, and for some reason the grandma.
And it's like a Home Alone type of slam.
Yeah, for some reason the grandma kept this comic that was made about her death, where we play as her and we go through the house, and there's a killer in the house, and we've got a crutch.
Yeah.
That we swing around, and
maybe that's a take on those old horror movies where it's just, I got a crutch and I'm gonna use it.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know how I interpreted this one. As far as what actually happened to her, I don't really know. Maybe she was killed by her boyfriend.
I take it. Yeah, it could be her boyfriend or just some, just an actual serial killer, home invasion. Because that shit happens on Halloween.
Or that
happens in general.
Or she could have. We see that in the house in reality as Edith, we see that there was a break in the stairs where that person supposedly fell through the stairs.
Yeah, so we can assume that had happened.
That happened, but hers is one of the more unclear ones, and mostly what I wanted to note about it, obviously, was the presentation, which was goofy and maybe cringy here and there, but I think that's the point. I think it was trying to be fun.
Yeah, I wasn't huge on the the jack-o'-lantern monster's voice.
Nah, but the presentation was so unique.
Oh yeah, you're flipping through a comic book.
And you're playing the panels, and it's all stylized. Yeah, that's all I had to say about that. We can go on to Walter.
And the movie ain't gonna do that.
Nope. Yeah, because the way that one ends is just kind of oh, surprise party, and then it turns out that they're all monsters and she dies. So yeah, I just didn't know how to interpret that. I was I guess her boyfriend.
Oh, yeah, and then that her ear is also left in the music box.
That too. We only know that she got in a fight with her boyfriend before that, and that there was a killer in the house. So I think either her boyfriend killed her, or there could have been, a real serial killer who broke in or something. We don't know.
Yeah, and I think
the ear thing kind of plays into the idea that there was a serial killer, I guess.
Yeah. So that's at least my interpretation of it. There's more I would say about Barbara, but I'm gonna save it for like kind of the end revelation, I guess, when we're
Okay.
there. But
Okay.
I think the story we both want to talk about before that is Lewis.
Right. So you didn't want to say anything about Walter?
Oh yeah, I think Walter is one of the more tragic ones.
I think so too, but we can definitely say that in like very short terms because what he did
Yeah,
was lock himself up after seeing Barbara's death. He was traumatized and locked himself in the basement for like 50 years. So he actually lived pretty long, but
I think it was 30 years.
oh, okay. Probably, yeah. And
Because I think he only lived to like 50.
he lived to be like 50, yeah. So he spent most of his life under the house in like this bunker eating peaches every day, which there's probably some inconsistency with logic there, but I don't care.
Yeah, like where's the toilet? I guess he kind of just goes outside by like the
or
trash area that he has.
yeah, or where are the peaches coming from? I don't know. It didn't say if anyone took care of him, but it doesn't matter.
Also,
I don't care.
He just isolated pretty much out of fear. Then one day he just like grew sick of it.
He decided he was gonna go out and confront his fear, and he was gonna live because he made it to 50 years old, and he's been in this underground for like 30 years.
Yeah, and he just said that he wanted to live even if he only had a year left, or a month, or a week, or a single day.
And he had like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was so sad but ironic is that as soon as he sees the sun, a train that was been out of service for a while now just appears out of nowhere and just fucking hits him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally right when he sees the sun shining on him, and that one made me actually sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that one, that was a sad one. He was the only one that I noted that I didn't care for the voice acting on. Just he was kind of just like this. Like I don't know.
I guess I never really noticed.
It didn't bother me too much. It just I couldn't. My note was that like there's superb voice acting everywhere, and then I was like, except Walter, I guess. But his story was still great, and I liked. I guess the presentation here was the most normal and casual. You just eat some peaches and then you walk out. You leave the bunker that he's in and walk outside and get hit by a train. You just see the lights.
Yeah, even though it's like one of the more shorter ones, it's like one of the more powerful ones still.
Yeah, I guess. Do we know if we have any interpretation about that, or do we think he just literally got hit by a train when he went outside?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I take away from it.
All right, fair enough. And then, Lewis. We might have missed one or two, but let's get to Lewis, because I think...
Yeah, we're just kind of knocking out the bigger ones.
This is the... If Molly isn't the longest, then this is the longest one.
Yeah.
And this one is really depressing. So Lewis works at a cannery, right? He cuts fish and cans them.
It like works on an assembly line pretty much.
Yeah, and like canning for cat food or something? I don't know, that might have been implied.
That's not really the important part.
Yeah. But that's what he does for a living. It's monotonous and repetitive, and it's the same thing every day, which is a lot of jobs, which is why I think this speaks to the average person who's playing the game.
Yeah, us Zoomers. Yeah, but this guy was like 20, you know?
Mm-hmm. He's like 22, yeah.
To be doing this type of thing.
Mm-hmm. And so he starts to daydream, and it's presented, of course, in a great and creative way again. I don't know what this was like on the computer, but for me, it was like you use the right stick to keep putting the fish in the guillotine, and then you use the left stick to control like the platformer or whatever, the dungeon crawler that opens up on the left side of the screen, which is his imagination.
Yep, and you synopsisize it pretty well. I'm going to use that word from now on. That's pretty much what it's like on PC. You just use the mouse to chop the fish, and then the WASD to move around as the imagination.
Right, and it starts small. You're just going through a labyrinth on the left.
Yeah, and it's just kind of crude almost.
Yeah, and it's just a little like a little box in the corner, or like a little cloud in the corner that you're playing. And as it goes and as the story gets more and more fleshed out, it takes up more of your screen and the fish start to fade away. But you still have to keep doing that because the fish will still like appear on the screen, just like imposed on top of the dream that you're having. And sometimes there's like a fish in your imagination, in your, you know, the daydream that he's having. Yeah, and you need to like cut a fish to open that gate up.
Yeah, that makes it really creative how it progresses it, and like as it goes on, the daydream bubble gets bigger and bigger until it's covering up most of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets more complex because you end up walking around like a 3D space. You're on a boat, and you get to pick multiple paths that change the story that's is kind of being told in his daydream.
Yeah, and this whole time in his daydream, he becomes like royalty, and he becomes like kind of this ruler of his own world, and like, and of course it contrasts with what his real life is, where he's chopping fish heads off all day.
Yeah, he's just some stoner loser that just goes home and plays games and loses to your younger sister, you know?
Yeah, and it's such an appealing alternative that he starts to imagine, and eventually, I don't know how fast you wanted to get to it, if there was anything else you wanted to say here.
That's it, you're doing good.
Okay, then yeah, eventually he goes to get crowned as like king of this land because this is a much more appealing alternative to his everyday life. And
it's like an escape for him.
Yeah. And
there's even a point where like the place closes and he's supposed to go home, but he's just there.
He's just still there
doing the same motion.
And that's when
at this point we're not even doing the fish anymore at that point.
Yeah, no, we come in and we play as like a third person observer, and we see ourselves, Lewis, just like standing there moving his hands in the motion of like cutting fish, but he's not even grabbing anything anymore. And you just like go up the whatever the fuck the conveyor belt where he puts the fish, and it opens to these gates, and there's a party, and everyone's welcoming you, and dancing and playing music, and it's just completely taken over at this point, this whole fantasy. Like, that's what he believed in. That's the life that he wanted now. And you go up to accept your crown, and like probably I don't know, there was a baby death in here, but I think that part where you accept the crown is one of the darkest implications of the whole game.
Yeah, because remember, it's a guillotine the fish that he's cutting, so he kneels down to take his crown,
which is
sliced.
Yeah, which is at the bottom of a guillotine, basically.
Yeah,
and as the crown is put on you, it's like, and yeah, so you kind of get the idea of how he went too.
Yeah,
and it's pretty fucked up and gruesome, but again, told in such told in such a fantastical and lighthearted way. Like,
yeah, but I think Lewis's story pretty much just takes all elements from like every story that we've had, and puts it into a blender, and then you got this.
Right.
You got the gruesomeness, fantastical element, tragedy, all in one, and also unique, kind of not presentation, but like how you play through it, because you have to like manage how you're walking around in the imaginary world, but you still have to do the other motion.
Right.
With the fish, so it's like the rub your stomach and pat your head thing.
Well, yeah, and it really, really puts you there in his mind where he's, because you're also struggling to do both these things at once, like, or you start thinking about one more than the other, and it's it's not the fish that you start thinking about more.
Like at that point, the fish is not even it's never what's been important.
Yeah.
But you still have to do it, and then at that point, you don't have to anymore.
So clearly, yeah, the implication is that this world that he built up in his head was looking so appealing, and his life so mundane and depressing that he commits suicide in a form that probably involved that guillotine for the fish.
Yeah, or there's another interpretation is that he just straight up hallucinated all of that and accidentally have done that. It's tough to say, but it's kind of what the game's already been doing is it leaves it somewhat ambiguous.
Yeah, I don't know. There was a note from his therapist where she was saying like that he's really committed to this other world that he's created. So I thought it was purposeful, but I guess I don't know. I guess it's left open.
I thought it was too, but I'm just kind of
right
putting out the other side there.
For sure. It's definitely interpreted.
It could have been also, purposeful just for the other world that he thought he was getting the crown, but it's not, I guess.
Right.
Or it could have been accidental that he was like straight up just disassociated.
Right.
He just wasn't there, so he didn't know what he was doing. So there's a few different takeaways.
Right. And then I guess just real quick, we should touch on Milton, who we never learned too much about. He's like a Finch that went missing, and we find out that when we see his room, it's like he was an artist, and he's got the flip book that I was talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
I was going to mention, too, that you can also slow that down.
Yep. You can play it at any pace you want.
Just fucking cool.
Which means that they drew every frame of that, and that's really cool. And if you want to learn more about Milton, like at least the ideas behind his whole character in that room, you can play this other game, which I did. I don't know if you knew this. The game that these developers made before this, called The Unfinished Swan. And I'd recommend it. I played it. I didn't like it as much as this, but it's a really artsy thing. It's pretty short again, and like you just kind of like the world is like white at first, and you throw like these paintballs to find like where the parts of the world are, and it's like really artsy, and you go around like that, and it's kind of just like a platformer where you use all these kind of unique and creative gameplay elements. But I think it's kind of implied that Milton went off to that world of that game.
Huh, gotcha.
So that's really cool. Or something like that. I don't know. And of course, there's the theory that the grandma Edie is kind of maybe behind everything. Well, not behind everything, but she's the one who pounds this curse into the heads of all the children and makes them scared to live, with the exception of some, obviously, like the baby.
Yeah, but it could have been influenced by the parents still.
Right. Yeah, parents in general. But Edie seems to be the one who's like obsessed with the idea of this curse, because she also, like she saved that comic book of the one girl, and she insists on painting all these people, and she's or painting all the portraits of them, and she there's the detail that she insisted on having the graveyard put in before the other, like before they actually built the house or whatever, or before they put in the other parts of the house. I don't remember exactly, but like she had an eagerness for it, and like I kind of picked up on some of that while playing, but then I watched like a video on why Edie is the real enemy, so that's not like all completely stuff that I personally picked up on alone. I'm just I'm putting those ideas in your head. Check out the video if you're interested.
I think I watched a similar video, but so I already knew that going into this.
Mm-hmm.
That's what That's what I was getting at when we were first introducing this.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right on the money. I did just kind of want to see what the game and how it presented it, and there's definitely like context clues and everything for people to pick up on at least parts of that.
Right.
But we're drawing the portraits and everything, and seeing the comic book, she's just glamorizing all the deaths, and the same way how she tells these stories, she like greatly exaggerates these.
Yeah, and
it's something that I just disagree with or just have a really big distaste for in media. That's why I don't like some certain shows that have a certain number that affects people with triskaidekaphobia. Not naming anything in particular.
I don't know what you're talking about, but
triskaidekaphobia is where you're afraid of the number 13.
Ah, okay, yeah, not naming anything.
Just stuff where you glamorize suicide and just stuff like that. Just not good things.
Right.
And then, it makes people, what's that word? Where you think that you have something, but you don't.
Hypochondriac.
Yeah, there you go. Just basically treat everyone as hypochondria, where they think that they're doomed, so they had this prophecy that they end up fulfilling.
And it seems like maybe the reason that this all started, which is what I was saying with Molly, is that she couldn't just admit that she was a fucking shitty parent and she neglected her child and she died. So she had to come up with this, it's a curse, and then
then she gets all this fame for it too.
Yeah, exactly. She gave like interviews about it and stuff. Like, yeah, there's a lot of details.
Newspapers wrote about it. Like her bedroom is kind of littered with that stuff.
Right.
And like all these family members, I think, are driven to like just make poor decisions. Like Calvin with the swing set. Like, why would you build a swing like right in front of the cliff?
Right.
Sending your daughter to bed without
any,
it's dinner where there's poison stuff in there.
Whether or not Edie was directly involved, it was all stuff that could have been avoided, and they were all made aware of this curse, which is why, like, I think Edith's mom tried to shield her from it.
Yeah. So then, after all of the stories were brought back to the present,
one sec, I want to tell you a couple theories before you go into the ending, because we're not going to say much about the ending anyway, obviously, but. Yeah, I just want to say a couple theories before I reach the ending. I wrote theory. Sure. I'm Grandma Edie looking back on her life, writing her story, which would have been kind of lame. But I was like, Edie, she's the one who lived all these years. I didn't remember at that point that we were playing in like 2016 or whatever, and it said she died in 2010. So that wasn't it. It was just something I thought of. Would have been lame. Not gonna lie. Another theory: we're reading the story Edith's mom left when she passed, which is closer to what it actually is, which is that Edith is writing this to her child. End reveal.
And then you've been on the money.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was already mentioned in the game, whether if you notice or not. She just outright says that she is 22 weeks pregnant.
Yeah. Well,
Edith.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I was just going to say, like, after all the stories were brought to the present, and then we're at this kind of moral quandary where, like, do we, if we write this and actually show it to the child, like, we just be carrying on this tradition and of, just self-fulfilling prophecy and everything. Or do we not? But then this would all be, for nothing. And that's pretty much the dilemma that everyone comes to. Also, is that what does everything mean? Like, is everything for nothing?
Right, and it's kind of just revealed that we are
Nobody.
we are the child, and we're reading it.
Yeah, I mean the thing is with this also just every story and just this in general is just it's so human, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
In that like nobody wants to be forgotten, so you come up and try to do these almost desperate things to try to like keep your legacy going.
Right. Well,
Um,
I really liked the reveal. I mean, it's not the most shocking reveal in the world, but I liked it. And I think then it's implied that Edith died from childbirth, since we see the baby coming
that's
out.
That's what I think too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we see like essentially like we're being pushed out as a baby.
Yeah, we come out.
That's
we
how,
come out of a vagina.
That's kind of how we figure out that we are the son. Yeah, because we see the son visit Edith's grave also.
Yeah, in the same house, in the same cemetery.
So
it's also kind of graphic that we're just coming out of a vagina,
Yeah, but again, tastefully done. I didn't think for a second like, oh.
Oh yeah, no, I mean same. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
It's graphic but tasteful. It's tastefully graphic.
Second thing in a row where there's just like a camera being kind of pushed out of a vagina type thing to simulate birth, because that was in Eraserhead as well.
Oh yeah, because we just can't stop talking about pushing shit out of vaginas.
Yeah. Well, I'm ready to do pretty much final thoughts. I told you I was going to save my little criticisms for the end here, so I'll just give you those.
Yeah, sure. I was just going to put out a couple like details or just some small things.
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Mine'll be quicker.
Go for it.
So, yeah, that Dawn is just the most recent one in the 80s. Edith's story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how she died. I think
the
it
mom
might have been cancer.
Yeah, the mom died from cancer, and we just see them holding hands at the end for a second.
Yeah, and that was very sad but touching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we didn't really touch on that. They leave the mother just takes Edith away. It's like
yeah, we didn't touch
mother there.
Yeah, we didn't touch on reading Edie's story, and then the mom takes the book away.
Yeah, I mean it's short, nothing really to mention. Other than
I didn't have anything to say about it, but it was there.
Yeah, shit. I guess that's it.
That's it?
I guess. I think I had something else, but I forgot it.
All right. Well, let me know if you remember.
Sure. Go for your criticisms.
My little criticisms were, one, I already mentioned. I wish you could look through all the peoples, even from inside out. Because, like I said, you're playing as these characters, and I feel like it would have just been more of a significance thing that could have been, some potential significance in the idea of looking out from those rooms that are boarded up from these children that had died. But not really important. That's a nitpick as fuck. But I kept accidentally progressing. I wish games would make it more clear what will be a point of no turning back, especially a game like this, where taking in as much of the world as possible will enhance the experience to its maximum potential. You shouldn't have to replay the game to get the intended experience, but then also at the end, you can do chapter by chapter, which is great. And also, I realized that I didn't really miss anything when I was playing through again, so that's good. But I had the FOMO while I was playing, because there were just a couple things where it doesn't let you go back through the door you came in.
Gotcha.
I said I wish it would let you reread the stories after you play them in case you miss anything well wrapped up in the gameplay. Like, what I meant by that is, like, not go through the whole thing again, but, like, I wish after you went through it, you could just, like, pick up the book and read it on paper and see, like, did I miss any
Oh, yeah.
any details while all that was happening, while I was wrapped up in that. Because I think that would have been pretty cool to be like, just to be able to read it as words afterwards. Again, not a huge thing.
I agree with that one. That could be a good addition. No reason to not have it.
Yeah, I don't know. And I wish the reveal. Yeah, this is why when you said this, I was like, oh yeah, because it was one of my criticisms. I wish the reveal that Edith is or / was pregnant was shown and not told. Just remove the line where she says she's pregnant. We still get the reveal at the end with the birth and the child. So like, I don't know. Again, that's pretty.
I noticed it before she even mentioned it, though.
Yeah, because you can look down. You can look down and see her stomach.
Yeah, and then I was like, again, I looked at it, I was like, oh, are we preggers? That's probably whatever you mean.
Yeah.
That's how my line of thought went. And then she said, I'm pregnant. I'm like, ha, I knew it.
Yeah, I wish that one line wasn't there, which is a very easy thing to remove. But I just felt like the game was very show and not tell. And then, like, she just says, I'm 22 weeks pregnant. It's like,
I didn't think that was all that out of place because she's crawling around everywhere. And someone else, the player would probably be thinking the same thing. So at least the game, at the very least, acknowledges it.
I guess, yeah, I prefer if...
Because she's mentioning, like, crawling around in
Right.
the context of that sentence, as opposed to the subject of, like...
It makes sense, but I would prefer just to have the reveal with the childbirth and then like, oh, she was pregnant. I don't know. I think it would come together more for me because everything else came together for me.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. We do get that anyway, though.
So there's a few of criticisms. They're all pretty minor. So
that's cool.
So we can do ratings if you don't have anything else to say.
No, I know I did, but I really... Oh, also, it's interesting to note with the grandmother that she built the cemetery before the house.
Yeah, I said that. That's funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I can't remember if it was the house or like the extensions to the house or what, but I was like...
Oh, yeah,
I was like, oh, and she built the cemetery. Like, she was eager to think about this curse.
Think about the curse.
Yeah, there's a lot of details we still didn't touch on. We didn't even cover everyone's story. There was the storm one that we didn't talk about very much. I know there was another one.
Sam, the hunting.
Yeah, which was really cool. Like, I totally could have talked about that, but we're coming to a close, I think.
Yeah.
That was a really cool section, though, I gotta say. I liked that.
Yeah, I only have a few criticisms.
All right, go for it.
It's just, I'm a little dumb with games like these, and I got stuck a couple times.
Really? Where?
Yeah. Oh, I was, like, stuck in Edie's room, and it wouldn't let me back outside, so I was just kind of, like, circling over and over again, like, where the fuck do I go? Then I found like the entrance to the secret room through the book.
Oh, really? I found the book first. Like I was trying to play like I play every game. So I actually found that book and then I was like, no, that's probably the way to go. And then I went and found the story. So I wonder if I could have...
That's funny.
Huh?
Well, no, go ahead.
I was saying, I wonder if I could have just missed that story.
Yeah, you could have, because I think I found the book, but I was just like, nah, and then I was just looking like a way around. Like I said, I'm dumb. Okay, I couldn't find my way. I couldn't find my way out. That's not really a criticism. I guess it's just more acknowledging that I got lost. Hey, game, help me out a little.
I got stuck once.
I think I got in Sam's story, I kept taking pictures of the wrong thing.
Oh, yeah, I was doing that too, but I was doing it for fun.
Focusing the camera was pretty dog-ass.
I was just doing it for fun, taking all the pictures of different shit.
I did a couple for fun, and then I realized, like, oh, this should be progressing, and now Sam's like, take a picture, something worth noting, and I'm like, fucking fine, okay.
Yeah, that happened to me. I guess I didn't consider that being stuck. I was having fun with that.
Also mix and mix for me.
The only time I'd say
Um,
I got like legitimately stuck for a second was there's like one point after a few stories that it lets you climb out back into the main room of the house. And so I thought like, oh, I need to do something out here, and I didn't. So I spent like 5 or 10 minutes just running around the house. And then I couldn't find where I came out from. I thought I came out from a different hole, but I came out from a different hole. Yeah, that's very descriptive. But eventually I just found the way back in and continued the story. But yeah, I spent like 10 minutes like, why did it let me back out here?
I think those are the only places I got stuck, at least that I can remember. Um, fuck. I wish Walter now was voiced by Walter
From the Big Lebowski.
from Big Lebowski.
That's a very big
That
criticism.
probably would have fixed his voice acting.
Yeah, that's a huge, great point. I'm going to need to knock off another point for that.
Yeah, same.
No.
God damn it, I had another one. Fuck. I had another dumb criticism. I can't remember.
Dumb criticism.
That's what I get for going on another tangent.
Nah, you just got to take notes.
Well, I thought of it like as we were doing this, you know.
Okay.
Lots of the things I talk about are just so spur of the moment.
Was it a gameplay criticism? Or like criticism with the actual story or presentation?
Look at the actual story, I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
I don't have anything to criticize about the presentation.
There
or
was
the
a
story,
nit.
for
There
that
was
matter.
yeah. There was a nitpick I saw that was like a good point, I guess, about how Edie's room has a peephole, but she's the one who made the peepholes and she died.
Maybe it's because she wanted to do the same thing for her room to immortalize her death. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But I just saw that as like I saw that and it was like presented as a plot hole, and I was like, dude, who cares?
I'm like, I don't know if that's really a plot hole or not.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's kind of reaching. But yeah, I think we're good for final thoughts. I was already mid through mine.
Those pretty much were my final thoughts, just because I gave like all the things I loved about it. We went through it, and then we talked about little criticisms. Oh, and I think it was the perfect length.
Yeah, it didn't overstay its welcome, and not a huge time commitment either.
Nope, it could have overstayed its welcome, and it could have been something where you just felt like, I didn't get much out of that because it was too short. But no, it was the perfect length. So ratings. Well,
Yeah.
and
You can go first. Since
No,
I
no,
ranked
no.
mine.
No, you go first. Yeah, because I went first on my own, right? Or did you?
No, I went first on Big Lebowski.
I never remember how we do this. Okay. Yeah. So
The person who experienced it ranks it first.
yeah, okay. I gave it also a 9 out of 10, believe it or not.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
I was not expecting that high.
I didn't have many criticisms. Like I read off what I had. They're all like very minor or even nitpick territory. So the presentation was very unique and unlike anything else I've experienced in a game. It was easy to tell where to go and what to do, but also it didn't like hold your hand. It was just very user friendly and a very beautiful presentation of a pretty relatively similar and overdone story. So
Cool.
it really worked for me.
Did not expect a 9 from this out of you.
No, I really liked it, and I would say check out The Unfinished Swan if you're interested at all. It doesn't really honestly say that much about Milton, but it gives an idea of where he might have gone, even though it's more of like a spiritual thing.
Yeah, for sure. I don't have much criticisms either. As we like already talked about it, I think it transcends the storytelling, and I think it's a probably the best example, at least one of the best examples of why video games are important as a media as opposed to just making the stories into movies. Like this is strictly a story. It's not much other than there's not much else in terms of games. You don't have many other choices,
Mm-hmm.
No other dynamic gameplay, but it just wouldn't work as a movie. And I think that's important for a lot of people that are kind of still dubious about games as media
As
and
art,
story and
yeah.
how it can convey stories. Yeah, and art. So I'd probably keep this on the shelf for that. That said, I don't think it has a lot of replay value for me.
No, but that doesn't always matter for me. It's fair if that's how you rated it.
Yeah, it's just something that I keep in mind. I keep in mind for a lot of stuff I rate of how much I'm going to revisit it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll still share it around, but I'm probably going to give it a solid 8.
Cool. Yeah, I would recommend it to others. I would maybe replay it once enough time has passed and I don't really remember much of it, but yeah, I can agree that there's not much to replaying it. It's more of a experience. But I would say that's not always a criticism, because I would say the same thing for something like Doki Doki Literature Club, which is great.
I'd replay that.
Yeah, there's some slightly more inherent replay value, but I'd still say it's like an experience.
Yeah, it's not a huge
and that's
point,
never going to be the same after. But
I do keep it in mind in terms of revisiting it, because that's what I like to do. I like to revisit my favorite things.
I think it's a game to revisit when you... I'm still talking about Doki Doki. It's a game to revisit when you have someone to show it to, like Until Dawn. And like this game, which there are other games that you replay for your own enjoyment. This isn't really one of those.
Yeah, but Doki Doki also does have some other ways you could play it, other random events too. Not enough to like actually make someone want to go back just for those things.
Yeah, not a lot of people would. We did, but I don't think a lot of people would. Which is.
But yeah, I'm just saying that for argument's sake.
Yeah, we've had extensive conversations on that game on the channel already.
Probably won't be the last.
So yeah, who knows what we're doing for Halloween?
Oh heck, Halloween.
We're not doing anything outside of indoors, so there's that.
For at least a while, given the rate we're going, but yeah.
All right, well that's that.
That was What Remains of Edith Finch. Check that shit out. It's only 2 hours. No reason not to.
Yep, and the Big Lebowski. So I gave 2 9ers.
Pretty different in terms of like tonality.
Yeah.
At least the last podcast were both similar. So there's the same energy that we could feel.
Right.
This almost feels like separate days, because we went from laughing just that's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah.
And then now we're talking about some serious shit.
They're pretty different. I wonder what next week will be like. Well, I'm giving you. Actually, you're gonna give me your rec first this time.
So I thought of I thought 2 recs. One of them was like a fallback, but then as we're talking about Edith Finch, I remembered the actual rec that I'm eager for you to check out.
Oh, I have one of those, but it's a movie. There are a few movies that I'm just gonna be waiting on because I don't want to do movie every week. So this week you're not getting one I'm especially eager about, but it's one that we're both going to experience. So.
Oh, I have movies that I'm eager about too, but this one, I'm not gonna wait for this shit. So I'm gonna double dip in this genre. You're getting another game.
Okay.
Portal 2.
How can I play it?
It's on Steam.
Okay. All right. Is it not the first one?
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't really need to play the first one. You could pretty much piece together what happened. You can if you want. It's pretty short. It's only like 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
But that's up to you. It's not I think it's like $5 on Steam. I'm not sure. Let me check. Portal 2, I think it's like 10.
Okay.
Let's see, Portal 1.
This game is best played
Yep.
with someone else, isn't it?
No. That's the thing. There's co-op mode, but that's separate. There's a one-player story, and that's pretty much the meat of the game.
Mm-hmm.
The story you can't do co-op,
Oh,
but there's like another co-op mode.
all right. Portal
But
2.
the story is the thing I want you to check out.
Okay.
But if you do play Portal 1, it will, I think, enhance your enjoyment of 2, but I don't think it's necessary.
I may or may not. We'll see how the week goes. But I will definitely play Portal 2.
More silence, yay. I'm
Well,
eager.
it was your turn to talk.
I'm excited for you to check that out, because
Yeah.
that's a big one,
I don't know.
at least for me.
I have no expectations going in. I just know it's a puzzle game, and I hope it's accessible enough for me to not get annoyed.
Okay, then this is going to be even better than I was thinking, because you're going in blind.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, this is going to be a good one. All right, what do you got for me?
Okay, wait. I've got a question for you though. Is this the one that I know that this meme that I've never understood, and luckily no one's ever spoiled for me, that the cake is a lie, is from
I knew you were
Portal.
going to say that.
Is from Portal.
Yes.
But is that from the first or the second one?
Both.
Okay. So
It's from both.
I guess I'll understand it after this, if I play.
It's more or less from one.
Okay.
It's still kind of like brought up in two.
Mm-hmm.
They follow right after each other.
All right.
So you can pretty much just like piece together what had happened. There's not a huge amount of story in Portal 1, but there's a lot in 2.
All right. Great. Wow, we went extra long today. It's just because we had to make up for last week, I guess. But
Yeah, exactly. We gotta talk more.
I'm recommending you an album that I haven't even heard completely, so it's going to be new for both of us. But
Oh boy.
yes, it's an album, and that is by Jeff Buckley, and it's called Grace, and it shouldn't be hard to find. It is his only album.
Oh.
Jeff Buckley died in 1997 or something. Well, I guess there's a bunch of shit here on Spotify, but it's technically his only full-length album. It's 11 songs, about an hour long, and we're both going to be experiencing it.
All right. It's gonna be interesting.
We'll see what we think about it.
Interesting matchup here.
He died young at age 30, like Elliott Smith, except that was 34. So, yeah. I don't even know exactly what kind of music to expect. I only know his cover of Hallelujah, which you'll hear, which is really good, in my opinion. Spoiler.
Interesting.
But, yeah, that's the most famous thing he did as far as I know. So
then why recommend something that you're not super familiar with?
because
You just wanted to get into it, or
yeah, I am interested. So
Okay.
I want to see what I think, and I want to see what you think. And also, I really want to... There's a movie that I forgot about last week that would have been your rec last week. But since I didn't, I don't want to do 3 movies in a row. So I'm just changing it up a bit. And then I know what you're getting next week.
I
All
think
right.
I know what you're getting next week too, but I think this is the only other game you're getting, at least for a while.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't given you any games because I don't know if you'll do them. But
Probably not. It's a safe bet, depending.
I will probably give you a game at some point. But all right, that's it.
Cool, sick.
I'm gonna go to an appointment in a little bit, so we will talk next week. And oh wait, did you see that the first one since we've been back went up on YouTube?
No, I have not.
Okay, well maybe you don't want to see it because you'll hear yourself.
I'll hear myself, and then I'll be like, I don't want to do this again.
But I thought I'd let you know now that we're like 4 deep. I'm putting them up. All right.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll talk next week, and let's blow out this candle.
Later, alligators.